Okay, now it's recording. Or wait, oh yeah, it's recording. Okay.
We can shut up at the beginning. You can't see me, right?
No.
So remember, you have to answer the question without you have to include the question because we're cutting out us talking.
Well, that's no fun.
Okay, so what was your role
stay
and
looking
how
in
did
that direction? That's helpful.
even though we're over here. So what was your role back in the day? So you can start over.
Oh, well, my role with Troy Gardens was really to bring the various people and groups that were interested in this property together to figure out what they cared about, what they didn't want to see, and then to create a structure and process through which those groups could stay around the table and work out what this thing was going to become, as well as to strategize behind the scenes about how do we make it all happen and to try to bring in the various resources this community was going to need in order to do this.
So how did you guys get all these people together and organizations together and work as a whole and do this all for free while doing it on the committee's terms, like you said?
Oh, that was such a good question. Troy Gardens was unique in my career as an organizer because it was one of the only opportunities I've ever had to work with a very diverse set of groups, of people, some of whom wanted different things, and rather than wanting to say no to something, many times neighborhoods and communities organize around what they don't want to have happen. This group started there. They didn't want to see this piece of property sold or developed for things, uses they didn't want to see. But it started to become, after a while, what can we make happen? What can we do with this piece of property, assuming we can get a hold of it, that would benefit not just one group in this community, but many groups, the gardeners, the neighborhood residents, the folks who wanted to see more affordable housing, the folks who were interested in urban agriculture. All those groups and many more had the opportunity to come together around the table and really design something that would represent their vision for a unique piece of property in their community. So this was truly a community-driven project in terms of what the vision was, but it was also community-driven in terms of who did the work. There were paid staff of nonprofits and university folks and other resource people that came to their aid, but it was the community that drove the decisions and produced the outcome, and it's now the community that benefits from Troy Gardens.
Is that what attracted you to this in the first place?
Yeah.
Everything you just talked about?
Yeah. It's the people. I mean, yes, it was this piece of property and it was a great opportunity in a community setting to do something with a piece of property, but it was the people and their passion for this property that drew me to spend 7 years of my life organizing through endless meetings in church basements and going before the city and dealing with all these different people and refereeing the fights and so forth, because it was something that people wanted and they were willing to work just as hard as I was.
I think that's what keeps it going as well. The community involvement pushes it forward.
Yes. The other key role I think I played, besides being the facilitator and the referee of all this, was always keeping the door open for the next group and the next person that was coming in. So often what happens in a community project is the handful of people or the organization that first becomes involved, they take ownership of it, but it's an ownership like this. This is our project now, we're going to do something. We made sure that every group who wanted to come in and get involved not only had the opportunity to come and learn about what was happening and to give their input, but then also to decide if they wanted to be a part of it, and to be a part of it on the community's terms, which was that it would be the community's goals that would drive it. The community would be the primary beneficiary. For the university, for example, was both a set of players that we needed because of their expertise and their contacts and access to funding potentially, but it was also something that they wanted. They wanted an outlet for students and faculty to come work on some of these issues in the community, like urban agriculture or affordable housing. But instead of them writing the grant and then having the students or the faculty be the primary beneficiaries of the relationship, and the community members are kind of the, the actors and the hosts and so forth, they came on our terms. So, just because you're a professor or a student doesn't mean that you get any more say than, a Mung gardener that may have broken English and, may not have any degrees to their name. And because everybody was willing to agree with that, it made it a really special process.
So are you from the north side?
I've lived on the north side now for 17 years, but I'm not from here originally. I like to live in the communities I work in.
Yeah, that was
questions?
probably
That was probably, yeah, a lot of great things to say.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay.
Alright, we can turn it off.
Kind of a lot to take in 3 minutes.
How long is it? What does it say?
I don't know.
So yeah, I should tell you.
I haven't turned it off yet.